How are my favorite girls in the world doing? Oh my god, I'm so excited to be here because I really feel like we are in a season of deep change, deep transformation. I've been talking to so many women, both my friends, some people in my audience, clients, and this is like a very collective shift that's happening right now where we are leaving old chapters behind. We are closing off doors that don't serve us anymore. We're peeling back the layers of our conditioning, really understanding what is it that we truly want for ourselves, like who we truly want to be, and what we need to kind of rewire in our brains, rewrite in our story in order to start being her, being the version of ourselves that we desire to be. And like this is kind of inviting us to question a lot of our beliefs and old stories and the way we approach money, life, relationships, friendships. Like literally every single thing is like on the table right now, and the universe is really like, okay, like it's time for you to define like what this next chapter of your life is going to look like. But you need to understand like what do you want to leave behind. And it makes so much sense right now because, first of all, we are in year 9 in numerology, which, although I don't know much about, I know it's a year for conclusions. It's a year for closing off chapters, for polishing um, certain things, for cutting loose ends, and ultimately really like letting go of everything and anything that is not contributing and supporting where we want to go, and also inviting us to like redefine who we want to be, redefine how we want to think and feel, what success means to us, what richness means to us, what love means to us, what community means to us, like what truly feels like a fulfilling, successful, rich, abundant life. And I think this reflection is so powerful. I'm having a lot of people going through like so many like stages of death and rebirth, like constantly. You just finish one cycle of that and then you go into the next one, and I just feel like this year is mostly going to look like that. So like heads up, guys, we are definitely heading into a bumpy roller coaster type of year, I feel like. I'm saying this as if we're not like in April already. Like, I'm sorry, for me it's still January. Like, I can't process that right now. Like, my brain hasn't caught up with the time, you know what I mean? I just feel like I've been in this cocoon or this like really introspective energy where I've just been reflecting so much. I've just been doing so much inner work. Possibly like one of the biggest inner works I don't know, eras that I've been in. Like I'd say the first one definitely happened during my breakup with my 7-year relationship, but I feel like this is like the second stage of like a very big, like powerful rebirth that I'm having, and it's just like taking me to the depths of myself and my soul and my old wounds and my past, and just really allowing me to let go and like I said, like cut off all those things that don't serve me, cut off those loose ends, like resolve myself in all those departments, really anything that I was avoiding, anything that I was not really looking at or acknowledging that I needed to work on, anything that was still not resolved within myself, like from my past, from my money mindset, from like literally everything is kind of being brought up right now. The universe is bringing that up as I move forward and I clean something and I kind of cleanse that area of my life. Suddenly it's like, okay, here's another thing. Let's like pick out what you want to give away. Let's pick out what you want to like put aside to like, dump it into the trash. And let's pick out what you actually want to keep. It's kind of like we're really rebranding ourselves, redesigning our lives, and that takes a ton fuck of reflection. And most of all, it takes a ton fuck of discomfort because we don't want change. I mean, we want change, but we don't. You know what I mean? Like, deep down, our brain is always going to choose safety first. It's always going to choose comfort. It's always going to choose familiarity first. And so, what I mean by this is like, of course, we desire change because our soul is literally made for expansion. Like, that's the nature of our soul. That's the nature of the universe, constantly expanding. The infinity is becoming even more infinite, if that makes sense, right? And so, we are expanding in our consciousness, and we are called to that growth. We are called for that transformation. We are called for that rebirth, but in our very human, um like what's the word I'm looking for? Neanderthal brains or whatever. Prime brains? I don't know. Primitive. Primitive, is that the word? You know what I mean. But in our like very animal brains, we are always going to choose comfort. We are always going to choose safety. We are always going to choose familiarity, even if it kills us, even if it's toxic as fuck, even if it's slowly draining us of everything we actually want to create in this life, even if it's like slowly poisoning us, but we will choose it because it's predictable. So it feels safe because we know what's going to happen next. Even if it's shitty, we feel safer there than to, dive into the unknown, leap into something that you don't really fully understand and you don't really have the full picture of, because like that's where change happens. I think that's like so important for you to know, like leaping into the unknown is a requirement for change. It is a requirement for evolving. It's a requirement for growth. You're not going to be able to grow where you already know you are and exist. Like you're not going to be able to grow in the place where you've been all along. No, like you're going to have to, you know, go into uncharted waters. You're going to have to explore new territory, and that's okay. And it is going to be uncomfortable, and that's also okay. I think sometimes we try to avoid discomfort because it feels so like, oh my God, we shouldn't feel this way. Like we should always feel good. And especially in the spiritual community, I feel like we can often bypass our own transformation because we think that we always have to be so fucking positive all the time, that if we feel any ounce of negativity, any ounce of pain or anxiety or stress or worry, we just like shove it aside because, like, no, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to manifest my dream life. But, like, bitch, you can't do that if you don't go there first. Like, nothing can happen if you're not neutral first. You know what I mean? So, if you have like these big feelings, these really charged emotions coming up, you need to go there first. Like, you need to cleanse that, like, you need to resolve that within you. And that might look, having a cry session, punching your pillows. That might look journaling and like putting all your thoughts out, no matter how ridiculous they might sound, no matter how negative they might look to you. It does not matter. No matter how ashamed you are of them, like it really doesn't matter. You need to first acknowledge yourself. You need to first notice who you are being and what's going on internally. Because ultimately, you don't create your external reality by just like the actions you take. Yes, those are so important, but usually you're not going to be taking the necessary actions for changing when your internal reality is completely misaligned with that, because your actions are usually, a fruit of your internal work. They are a response, a reflection of your thoughts and your beliefs. Like, if I believe that it's hard to make money, I'm probably not going to ask for a promotion, and I'm probably not going to like put myself out there. I'm probably not going to start my business, or if I do, I'm not going to feel comfortable selling. And so I'm just going to like have a business, but not really. Like, I basically have a page and I'm doing something there, but I'm not really like expanding on it more monetarily because I don't believe it's like easy to do that, right? So like your actions are also being influenced by your thoughts and your beliefs. So it is so important that you start there first. Like, I feel like I try to change myself so much from like that external perspective. Like, I need to do more. I need to do different. I need to do better. And I was always like fucking chasing after a specific goal. Like, and it was so draining. That's the thing. Like, because you're doing it from low self-worth. You're doing it from this very lack mentality of like, it's never enough. I need more. I'm not happy where I am. I'm not satisfied. You're not fully like appreciating, your journey at all. You're not present and you're not grounded. You're just thinking into the future. And that's causing more anxiety. That's causing more worry. That's causing more frustration. And like, that's not the goal. That's not the point of life. Yes, the universe wants you to change into like a bigger, better, more expansive version of yourself. Yes, the universe is calling you to grow, and the universe is calling you to like rise above, and the universe is calling you to break all the old cycles. But the universe is not saying you are shitty as fuck, okay? Like, that's you. That's you, bitch. Like, the universe wants you to expand because that's what your soul desires. The universe just wants you to be in alignment with that because there's so much more out there for you. There's so much magic, there's so many opportunities, there's so much abundance and richness and fun and pleasure and love, and all those things happen the more you expand your capacity to receive them. But you can't receive them if you don't feel like you deserve them. You can't receive them if you have a bad relationship with those things. Like, I'm not going to be able to receive more money if I hate money, if I'm resentful towards money, if I don't look at my bank account, if I have an anxious or avoidant attachment style to money. Like, all those things matter, but it always starts with us, right? Like, have you noticed that? How no matter what's going on externally, it's always how you perceive it, how you react to it, that ultimately creates a specific kind of pattern of events, or, like unfolding of events. I guess that's the better way to say it. It creates a specific unfolding of events, and that's what kind of adds up to create your destiny. It's not up to fate. It's not the universe trying to like be a little bitch and just putting you constantly in the same place over and over again, or making you loop, or giving you lessons. Like, no, like the universe is always on your side. And if you feel like it's working against you, it's because you're most likely working against yourself. And I think this is so important to recognize while still being compassionate of this process, because I mean, let's fucking face it, we were told to settle. We were taught to play small. We were taught to view life as in constant lack. Oh, you need to study in order to have good grades, and you need to have good grades in order to make money, and making money is so hard to make, or having money is so hard to make, or money is so hard to make. Money doesn't grow on trees. And you really think that type of person is going to be out there for you? Like, you should just be grateful for what you have. You are always asking for so much. You're too much. Like, don't feel so much. Don't cry. Like, we're literally shrunk from the moment we are born until we are grown-ups. And now we are our own person. We have entitlement to choose who we want to be and how we want to live our lives. And it's up to us to change that narrative within ourselves. It's up to us to take the step and be like, no, no, I'm done. I'm done playing into this old fucking shitty narrative that I don't get to live the life that I want. I'm done acting like I'm not my own person. Like, I'm not the creator of my reality. I am done letting what my parents, aunts, teachers, I don't care, but like, I'm done letting my childhood, my past determine who I get to be. Like, you're just done, because it's so annoying. Like, I get annoyed with the thought of it, because I'm like, no, like, who the fuck do you think you are that I'm just gonna listen to that and like give my life away to misery and struggle and stress, when I know I can have the best life ever. Like, when I know that there's so much more available for me, and I know it because I desire it. And that's the sign that I want more for a reason. Some people feel happy living in the countryside and having their own, food, and like living like that, and whatever. Good for them. And some people love the chaos. I don't know how, but some people love the chaos of the city, and they're always like working and hustling and blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's where they thrive. But like, why should I define how I live my life based on how others are living their lives? Why should I define my life based on other people's rules? Everyone is like their own owner, if that makes sense. Like, everyone is their own person. Everyone owns their own reality. Everyone is their own master. I guess that's the best way of putting it. And so, why would I take someone else's teachings, take someone else's rules, take someone else's guidelines that don't resonate with me, and make that the reason why I don't get to have what I want, and I don't get to be who I want to be? Like, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. And I think this year, I mean, every year is an invitation for that, but this year specifically, I just feel that on a collective level, so much is being brought to us. And a lot of the times, as I said before, like, that's going to be uncomfortable, because it's going to come in the face of old triggers resurfacing, flashbacks or of like memories that you didn't even remember, and just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even know this was here, you know what I mean? Or, toxic relationships that are being revealed to you, like, oh my god, like, you're toxic as fuck. Or, oh my god, like, these relationships or these friendships are like not good for me. Or you're just noticing that you're not pleased or happy and satisfied in your career, or you're just feeling like you're constantly frustrated and angry and like on edge. All of those things are signs. Like, it's normal to have emotions, it's not normal to get stuck in them, you know? It's not supposed to happen. Emotions are energy in motion, and so you're supposed to move through it. Like, it's okay to have anger, it's okay to have frustration, it's okay to feel it all. None of those emotions are bad. None of those emotions are negative. And like, the more I'm recognizing that, the easier it is for me to allow them in, because like, they're generally not bad. They might feel uncomfortable, which is a whole other thing, but they are so important. They are so precious, because they're usually here to teach you something. They're usually here to show you something. Like, the other day, something happened here at the house that just really triggered me out of nowhere. But like, a minor thing triggered me, and it's because I guess I've been doing a lot of inner work, and so things have been more like, you know, my heart has been more in my sleeve. I guess that's how I say it. Like, my emotions are very much at the surface. I've been more sensitive because I have opened that door to like my heart and my wounds and my most intimate self. And so I've noticed that I have like, reactions to things that I wouldn't have before, because I would be kind of a little bit more numb. But now, because I've been cultivating that level of awareness, I'm just like noticing every fucking sensation. And the other day, something happened that like somehow it just triggered something so core in me that I literally like fell to the floor, and I started like crying like crazy. Like, I was like under a thread, reliving certain moments in my childhood, and just crying and like blocking like my ears because of the sounds that were triggering that, and just like literally like rocking back and forth like a crazy person, and just being like like having a total panic attack, which hasn't happened in like years. And I could have very easily been like, okay, like, let me just grab my phone. Let me just grab my phone. Let me just ignore this. But I chose to like breathe and let it in. I chose to feel it, and it sucked. While I was feeling it, I was like, "Oh my god, like, I'm having a panic attack. This is crazy. Why am I having a panic attack? I mean, this feels so wrong because I'm so quote unquote evolved now, and I've done so much of my work. How come I'm having a panic attack right now?" Like, your brain wants to label it. It wants to put it in a box. It wants to like understand it, which is fine. But there's such a thing as like just like allowing it in. You know, Sometimes your body kind of remembers things that your mind doesn't necessarily understand. Your body has reactions that your mind logically might not comprehend, but they're still necessary. And so I just like let it in. And that was that. And like, for the rest of that day, I was feeling kind of weird, but I just felt so whole within myself because I wasn't rejecting a part of me. And what that allowed me to see is like, wow, there's still things from my childhood that are still stuck in my body. How interesting, how grateful that I get to finally release those things. Like, that's a good thing. And when you start seeing it that way, or when you're feeling like ton fucks amount of anger or frustration, it's usually because something's out of alignment, or maybe because you're not honoring your boundaries, or someone else is not honoring your boundaries. Maybe it's because you're like putting your energy in the wrong places, and you're feeling resentful towards something. Like, it always means something. It's always like a piece of knowledge, information, and wisdom about yourself that will allow you to open up and expand your capacity to receive what you do want. And so when you stop like seeing those emotions as bad and negative, and it's like, no, they're actually so fucking powerful, so fucking important, so precious, so useful, then it's going to become easier to open that space. And the reason why that's so important is because, again, when you are letting go of your past, it's going to be inevitable that you're going to go through some, uncomfortable process, either grief or anger or frustration. Like, it's normal because we don't want change. Again, like, our brain is going to fight against it, and it's going to fight it in the form of self-sabotage and placing so much fear on you that it literally freezes you. It's going to try to like make you anxious and overthink every single thing. It's going to like hold on and attach to a certain person or emotion or thing and give you like immense feelings of grief because it doesn't want to let go. And that's okay. And I think that's where the art of noticing kind of comes in. Like, it's so powerful to be able to notice that and still move forward how you want to. It's so powerful to be aware and still be intentional. Like, I think that's possibly the key to unlock everything that you want. I've been going through these like very big changes and shifts in my business, in my money mindset, in my reality in general, and that has been making me question so much about, what I was told growing up, and also how I've been looking at money, looking at success. And I want to do a whole episode about specific like money, mastering the energy of money, really establishing a better relationship with money, because damn, the insights I've been getting are actually insane. So definitely comment below, whether you're on Spotify or listening to this, or you're on YouTube. Just let me know what type of questions you have around that, or if you just want to have that episode, and definitely comment money and I will definitely make that happen. But ultimately, I've been reflecting a lot, and that's making me realize, like, oh my God, there's so many stories that I wasn't aware of that are playing out, and that they do explain why I have been feeling some blocks here and there, or that explains why in certain areas of my life, I find it more challenging to grow and evolve because I'm holding myself back here, 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 and there. Like, you notice and you start recognizing, and the more you build that awareness, the more capacity you have to break that cycle, to like interrupt a pattern, and the more you get to like create a more powerful, more useful input of like, okay, let me be intentional here. Okay, how do I actually want to move forward? Okay, like, what actually supports me in this area of my life that in like 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, I think I'm going to live that much. I'm going to be like super grateful for? And so when you start thinking that way, it changes how you perceive reality, how you react to life and to your circumstances, and ultimately, it's going to change your actions. And that's how your reality starts shifting. That's how you unlock that transformation that you've been really wanting and desiring. It all starts with noticing. If you're just like avoiding those areas of your life, and if you're like trying to, put a blind eye, is that how you say it? Turn a blind eye. You know the expression, how it goes. Turn a blind eye. I feel like that's not how you say it. To that, and you're just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go there, and you keep avoiding, but then you're like, oh my God, I want change, I want change, I want change, but you're not actually going to the places that will unlock that change. Then you're just gonna keep repeating the same loop over and over again, which is like, you don't have to go there again. Especially if you're listening to this, like, what is that one area of your life that you just keep coming back to that feels frustrating or unfulfilling or unsatisfactory? What is that one area that like you really want to kind of resolve and unlock, unblock, and like where you're not feeling flow, you're not feeling growth, you're just like keep coming back to the start. It kind of feels like you're just in a loop, repeating the same cycle over and over again. Like, it's okay. Again, it's okay to recognize that, and it's okay to move forward. You know, I often think sometimes we think that it's like either one or the other. That like, oh, we can't feel this block and move forward at the same time. I can't feel angry and be grateful at the same time. I can't feel grief and be empowered at the same time. I can't have all these negative feelings and manifest my dream life at the same time. And actually, it's when we allow both in that we become the most empowered and magnetic and like strong in our energy, because we're not dividing it anymore. We're not spreading it. We're not hiding from it. We're just like calling back our power, being like, yeah, you know what? This anger, it's okay. I feel it. It's here. I allow it in. And it's almost like you take back a piece of you that you had lost, and you go into your childhood and you kind of collect all those pieces that were also lost there, and you're just like, yeah, I see you, I love you, it's okay. um and so you start kind of picking up those pieces and building yourself back up, and that's when you're starting to feel like a full person. That's when you start to, magnetize everything that you want, because you're not dividing your energy. You're not giving your power away anymore. You're just like present to who you are. You are in your essence. And your essence has contrast. That's what you need to understand. Like, your essence isn't just this like purity, love, and light being. Like, yes, at our core, that's our spirit, but we also have our human side, and that's gonna create that level of like, sometimes we're frustrated, sometimes we're annoyed, sometimes we want to punch a bitch in the face. Like, that's normal. Okay, we get to embrace that and still, with love and compassion, choose what we gonna do what we're gonna do in the face of that. And so that's something that I've been doing a lot of, like, when I am, let's say, spending money and I'm buying something and I'm feeling contraction and I'm feeling uncomfortable because, I grew up feeling like it wasn't safe to spend money. Like, every time I was spending money, I was making a bad decision. Like, I had to like save it all away. Like, I had to keep it all, otherwise I would lose it all, right? It's like 8 or 80, all or nothing type of mentality that comes from that scarcity that I was like born into, that I don't resonate with, that I don't want for myself, that I'm not going to adopt. And so what I do is, okay, I'm noticing that I'm feeling some discomfort and contraction as I'm paying for this. And I'm so grateful that I have the money to pay for this. And I'm so grateful that money is here to support me. And I recognize that I'm also so abundant. Like, both get to coexist. Or how that day where I was having that panic attack, like an hour later, I'm like, wow, that was so intense. And I recognize that I'm still feeling kind of weird, like after the storm type of energy where like I don't feel fully settled in yet. And I'm just so grateful that I got to experience that and like see that part of myself. This was so hard and so challenging. And I know this was a blessing. I know the universe is blessing me. Like, when you start doing that, it's kind of like you're redirecting your choices, redirecting your thought process into what you actually want it to be. And this is kind of when you are starting to take charge of your reality. This is when you're starting to shape your reality to your will, and shape your thoughts and your inner self to what you want to see externally. And that takes a ton of self-reflection and self-accountability, which honestly for me, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've been doing right now. It's realizing like there's so much change that I want, that not only I want, but I know I'm like meant to go there. And I'm recognizing the discomfort and like, oh my God, like I almost want to overwhelm myself so that I don't have to move forward with this because it's scary. It's almost like, oh, I'm noticing that every time I feel overwhelmed, it's actually when I'm like about to change something major in my life. So I'm realizing that it's just a defense mechanism to change, And then you start noticing those, and it becomes easier to act because like, yeah, that's just it. That's like, it's just the defense mechanism. It's just an old story playing out. It's just like, oh, it gets to be here. I get to observe it as an observer. Like, I'm outside of it, looking into how I'm feeling, kind of like, yeah, like I'm in like outside of my body and really like, okay, wow, like she's feeling all those things, right? That allows you to have this like more separate perspective. It creates distance where you're able to see a bigger picture, and you're able to notice yourself from a place where you're not fully charged of your emotions, even if you're going through emotions. Does that make sense? Like the same way as when I was having that panic attack, like I was feeling it, but I was also like observing it from an outside perspective, like, wow, I'm having a panic attack. How interesting that like this triggered that in me. How interesting that this flashback happened. Um and so I'm feeling the emotions, but because I created some distance and I'm like in this place of like noticing, being the observer, it gives me space. Because I could have done that and, again, like let's say instead of a panic attack, I was just like filled with anger suddenly. I'm not going to want to punch someone or just yell because I'm feeling angry, because that's not the type of person that I want to be. Like, it's okay to set boundaries, it's okay to, like, speak up, it's okay, blah, 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 but I personally don't wanna be the person that, like, when I'm angry, I scream, and that's how I try to make myself heard. Like, absolutely not. I've been there, done that. It does not fucking work. It only creates more distress. It only creates more conflict. Like, and honestly, you lose so much respect for yourself and the other person for you, because, like, you do not have to scream and yell in order to be heard. And if you have to do that, question whether, first of all, you're hearing yourself and whether the other person respects you in the first place. Because, like, if I'm not being heard when I whispered, I'm not being heard, period. You know what I mean? Um, but okay, let's backtrack into what I was saying. Like, if I'm really angry, I'm not going to react out of the anger by screaming at someone, by calling someone names, by punching a bitch, like I said before. Like, of course not, because that's not who I want to be. It doesn't mean that I have to be this really Buddha type of person. Of course, fucking not. Like, I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo Mars. When I need to say something, I'm going to say it. But I also can recognize that, okay, I'm feeling really charged right now. So let me take a step back before I talk. Let me take a step back before I go into this conversation, because I do know that there are boundaries that I need to set. I do know that there are things that I want to verbalize, but right now it's not the moment. So you take a step back, and you do the same with your life. Like, damn, I'm noticing some resistance in this change, and so maybe right now, let me just sit with this. Let me just observe it. Let me just feel it. And then when it's out, like when I've regulated myself, when I'm coming back to neutrality, let me like decide what I want to do next, right? You don't have to do it all right away. You don't have to figure it out right away. You don't have to, like, growth doesn't mean that you're constantly acting on something. It doesn't always mean that you're like doing, like hustling, like evolving. Like, evolving is like happens in stages, like growing happens in stages. And that's also something that we need to embrace. And a lot of the times we don't want to do that because we're not like comfortable with sitting with our discomfort. And that's something that I've realized lately. It's like the level of expansion you're available for is a level of discomfort you're willing to sit with. Period. Like right now, I feel like every major thing in my life is literally changing. I'm moving out of my dad's house, which is really major to me because if you don't know me, I spent my entire life thinking that I was gonna be homeless or I was gonna like work at McDonald's and like or a very miserable 9 to 5 and live under a bridge type of thing. I don't know, like that was always what I pictured. I could not see a good future for myself. And from that to where I am now, where, I am getting well paid, doing babysitting and doing something that isn't at all a 9 to 5 and allows me to like still be in my energy and feel good and nurtured at the end of the day while running my dream business and being able to impact hundreds and thousands of people around the world and knowing the like the impact that I've had, like, actually on so many of your lives, and also feeling so inspired by, being able to express all these things and being able to share the knowledge, the like insights, the lessons that I receive as I move along on this journey of growth. So like there's so much richness there, and I don't really remember where I was going with this. Um, but I guess the point is, yeah, I really forgot. I completely forgot. So I'm just gonna move forward. I'm so sorry, girls. Um, but the point is that I think right. I remember. So like I'm moving out. Yes. there's big change happening in my life right now. I'm moving out. I am changing my money mindset to like a new level of depth, which is why I want to do an episode about it. But to like such a deeper level, like I'm asking myself real questions, like, if I were to receive 1 million euros, what would I do with it? Like, what would I actually use it for? How would I feel about it? I'm like, oh, interesting that my first response is like, I have no fucking clue what I would do with it. Um, or I would just kind of like stress or feel weird or uncomfortable. Like that was my first reaction, at least last week. And I've been doing a lot of work there. Like, wow, there's still so many stories here that are playing out. Let me go deeper. Let me like understand this better. Let me notice what's going on internally that I haven't been paying attention to. Because the truth is, I do find that sometimes when I'm paying for certain things or when I'm like spending money somewhere, I'm still feeling uncomfortable. So it's like, okay, interesting. This is still happening. Why? What's happening here still? What is my body like reacting to, right? Or out of. And I've been doing a lot of deconstructing there. Like literally almost every single day I'm like reflecting on that, going back to that energy, going back to that reflection because I know I'm so committed and this is so important. Like I am so committed to living a life of freedom. And what I mean by that is not just financial freedom, although yes, that's also included in that. But like freedom is like I'm going to break all the chains from my past. You know what I mean? Like, I want total freedom to be who I know I came here to be. I want total freedom to be who I know I'm meant to become, who I truly want to become. Because we have fucking free will, dude. Like, I want to use that. I want to use that to the best of its capacity. I'm the ruler of my life, I'm the decider of my destiny. And I'm not just gonna let old ways hold me back. Nobody in all of us. No wizard that there is or was is ever gonna bring me down. Do you understand that? Like, nothing is gonna bring me down. Like, I'm not gonna let anything, hold me back, hold me down from my fucking destiny, from what I know I'm here to do. I'm defying gravity, baby. I'm defying gravity. Like I just think that that's what really drives me. That's what really motivates me. It's like I'm not gonna tell myself ever, oh, you should just stay here because like more is impossible, or you should just settle. You should just keep it safe. Whatever. Absolutely not. Like I'm always gonna be the person that says to me, F yes. Fuck yes. I love you. You deserve the world. Go for it. Because this is your one life. So what the hell are you doing if not making sure that you're living the best life ever? You know what I mean? And again, that does not have to come from this harsh energy of like push, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. Be harsh with yourself. Criticize yourself. Hate yourself into change. No, absolutely not. Like this is actually the opposite of it. Notice yourself into change. Notice where the old patterns and the old beliefs and the old narratives are playing out. And once you gain enough spaciousness between those old patterns and where you're at, then you get to choose how you want to react. And that is going to help you create a new set of rules for yourself. That's also going to kind of help you pave a new path. It's almost like you're playing one of those games where you get to decide what the character does. Like, do I kiss him or do I slap him in the face? It's like, okay, let's try kissing. But like you get to choose. Like it's literally that. Every single moment of every single day, you're at a crossroads. Am I going to choose based on my old set of beliefs, aka stay where I'm currently at, or am I going to choose based on my higher self? And sometimes, because I want to speak to that, if you're in a place where like you don't know what that looks like, you don't know what the next step is, you're confused, you're overwhelmed, like then notice the overwhelm. Then sit with the confusion. It's so important to know like how to be patient, which is an art. I'm still learning to master, to say the least. Okay, I can be very impatient, and I've noticed that a lot of the times when I started having a few realizations, suddenly I want to have the whole cake. Like I want to have the whole picture. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's dig deeper. Let's like understand this. Like, but like you need your time to process the lessons and the insights and the like. Everything has a divine timing, and you also need to trust that. And that's why, again, the art of observing is so powerful because instead of trying to rush, you observe, like, oh, I'm wanting to rush. Okay, then let me just sit here. And that annoys you. But it's also like you're breaking the pattern. Instead of letting that feeling of, I need to rush, make you respond out of that and actually make you rush, you're saying, okay, let me just sit right here. It's okay that I'm feeling this way. And I choose to trust the timing of my life. And I choose to move with patience. And I choose to understand and I know that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I know if I don't have every piece of the if I don't have every piece of the puzzle, if I don't have the like greater picture yet, if I don't know what's the next step, then it's because I'm not meant to move yet. And it's because I'm meant to be here. And being here means nurturing myself, giving myself love, staying with like presence, staying grounded. That's what that means to me at least. And so like also embracing that. And all of that starts with noticing. And this is kind of like something that honestly when the year started and in the last I'd say 3 months of this year, the first 3 months of this year, it's been a bit chaotic in that sense of like I feel like I was so focused on specific achievements and goals and like honestly low key proving to myself that I am worthy of the life that I want, proving to myself that I'm capable, which means that there was a part of me that didn't feel worthy. There was a part of me that didn't feel capable. So like trying to prove to myself, trying to prove to the world, trying to prove to others that I can do it. It was like putting me in this like really scarcity lack mindset where I was just chasing and chasing and chasing. And it was leaving me so empty because like that became my priority. And I think I really neglected like self-care and nurturing myself a lot more than I'd say like for the past 3 years. That was like the most disconnected I was to me in the sense of like I was just not really focused on that. Like I was doing the bare minimum, but not enough at all to fill my own cup and to overflow because that's the thing like you create with the overflow until your cup is full. Your priority has to be to fill it, you know? Not through others, not through having more, not through buying new clothes, not through getting a boyfriend at all, but just by like coming back to yourself and paying attention. I swear there's so much fulfillment and like love and good energy that comes to you when you just sit with yourself, when you just notice your emotions, even the hardest ones, because suddenly you feel whole again. You're like picking up those pieces, and it's like that's how you're watering your cup. And that, like, when you're in that place where you're feeling whole, you're feeling complete, that's when you're able to create something beautiful. That's when you're able to create something magical. And that's an art to notice when you need to fill your cup, to notice when you need to pause, to notice when you need to, like, take a step back and reflect, like, okay, something is not feeling good, something is feeling out of alignment, something is not right. Or there's also an art to noticing, like, okay, I've been avoiding taking action, I've been avoiding and resisting changing these things. How can I hold myself accountable in a way that I'm showing myself compassion and I'm still showing up for myself from that place of like, this is important, this matters because I matter, like, and I think ultimately that also comes from a place of self love. Because if you go at it from a place of harshness, it's not going to feel good for very long. But if you're loving yourself and you're really like respecting yourself and you're honoring yourself and you're proud of who you've become, because girl, listen, who you are right now is amazing. Like, Can you actually take a second? I feel like this is an invitation to all of you. Like, can you take a second to realize just how much you've grown already? Can you take a second to acknowledge, like, the change that you've created internally already? The fact that you're sitting here and listening to this, the fact that you're willing to recognize yourself, the fact that you're willing to do the work, the fact that you've already done some of the work. Most people spend an entire life without doing that. And I'm not saying this to compare yourself to someone else, but what I'm saying is like you have been placed here for a reason. It's not a coincidence that you've been given this opportunity because it is an opportunity that unfortunately not everyone has. A lot of people live their entire lives on autopilot and they feel miserable and they feel stressed and they're living in that, like, yeah, just high stress, high frustration, cortisol type of energy. And like, you were given a choice, like, you're not an NPC. You're the main character. You were given a choice to do to choose better for yourself, right? Like, you were given a choice to choose the game that you want to play, to choose the rules that you want to play by, to choose the next right thing that you feel like you need to do. Like, that is power, but that is a gift as well. And the fact that you're starting that journey, or maybe you've been on this journey for a while, but ultimately, can you recognize just how much you've grown? Like, I also feel like that's so important when you acknowledge this, when you're so proud of yourself. I feel like this can be so, so supportive to move forward because you feel more empowered, you feel more capable, and you're like, yeah, I can do hard things. I can create change in my life. Like, I can do the things that I want to do. And that just puts you in a completely different energy. And something that I've been really working towards is being more and more active in my life. Like, rather than just like letting life play out, whatever the fuck it has, quote unquote, planned, aka whatever my old patterns want to play out. I'm really like grabbing life by the balls and being like, okay, here's what we gonna do. Okay, I'm riding this bitch. Like, I'm top. Like, when it comes to life, I'm not a bottom. Just for my husband, I might be a bottom, but like, when it comes to life, I'm on top and I'm gonna rule that bitch. I'm gonna ride that bitch. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take charge. Life is gonna be my sugar baby. And the point is, I've been more active in my life. Okay, like, do I want to feel different in my finances? Do I want to, you know, receive more money or change my relationship with money? Do I want to have that CEO rich bitch energy? Okay, then what the fuck do I need to do? What content do I need to watch? What do I need to learn? Where do I need to go? What rooms do I need to be in? What reflections do I need to make? Okay. It seems that I'm single right now and I actually don't want to date. Okay, how can I deal with the discomfort of sometimes I'm needy, sometimes I'm horny, and I'm not just gonna like have a one night stand, or I'm not just gonna like go back into the dating apps unless I really feel like that's where I'm meant to go just because I'm needy and horny. Like, absolutely not. Like, I have self respect, you know what I mean? Like, and not just self respect, but I value there's so much. Oh my god, there's so much that I could say about this specific thing. Like, I value myself. I value my life. I value my existence. I value my time, my energy. I value my knowledge. I value my money. Like, every single thing in your life is valuable if you make it so. And when you do that, when you are not only intentional, but you're like, how can I create even more value in my life? Shit changes. But I feel like that's also like an entire conversation in of itself. There's so much to be said there because that's been one of the biggest things that I've been like really understanding when it comes to money. Like, money's not just here as a tool, it's here to add value to my life. So, just really changing my approach to money, changing how I view money and how I think about money and how I plan money, like everything around that. But also then in life, you know, because it's so easy to like, not set schedules and just be all over the place. It's easy to be scattered, but how can I take charge? And it doesn't have to it doesn't have to happen. Yeah, good. good girl. It doesn't have to happen all at once, you know, like it can happen step by step. It's meant to happen step by step. You're not meant to overwhelm yourself into change because then you're going to freeze. You're going to panic and you're going to like, take 2 steps back. You're going to come back to your comfort zone. So you need to make sure that you're like stretching, but you're not like severing your muscles. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it, you're not like hurting yourself by doing so. You're just uncomfortable. It's just like slightly painful. It's like painful growth. It's not like you cracking your whole body. You know what I mean? So, really understanding that you are in this process of change, and that means facing discomfort, which means it's important to notice yourself. It's important to take time to pay attention. It's important to be self aware. Self awareness continues to be something so, so important. And I know sometimes we forget that. It's like we move forward into the evolution stages and suddenly we forget our bases. But like the basics, the foundations are always going to be useful. They're always going to be important. And I've noticed that when life gets really hard or really challenging, really like intense, that's always where I go back to, and that's not a coincidence. It's because like ultimately those foundations are always what's going to like help me bring myself back into power. That's what's going to help me stabilize into like my deep truth of like I know who the fuck I am and I'm not going to let anything get in my way, right? And understanding that it's both the art of noticing and then real really taking charge of your reality by taking accountability, making yourself responsible for your reality, not just living it up to fate and your old patterns and your old set of beliefs. That is uncomfortable. But when you know how to handle when you know how to handle discomfort, then you know how to expand. Then you know how to level up. Because the only thing between this version of you and the next is the level of discomfort that you need to go through in order to create that change. Whether that's the new habits that you need to set, whether that's letting go of old beliefs, like whatever it is. And so, this is what I mean, kind of going back full circle. I feel like I want to finish the conversation here. I don't even know. Okay, 15 minutes. But to really go full circle, like it's year 9. Okay, girls, like it's gonna be an intense year. I really feel this. I'm preparing you, I'm warning you, but in a good way. Understand that this year is gonna be like filled with opportunities for you to level up, filled with opportunities for you to choose who are you gonna be? Who do you want to be? And it's not just saying it out loud. It's not just thinking it. It's not just like, oh yeah, claiming it in someone's comment sections. It's like your actions, your attitude towards life, your approach, your decisions, how you move, where you put your resources, you know, the way you think about yourself, like all of those things are going to become really valuable tools to be able to actually create that change and that transformation that you desire. And it all starts with noticing. It all starts with paying attention. It all starts with being self aware. It all starts with sitting with all that you are, noticing where you're at, noticing what you might need from a place of compassion, from a place of understanding, from a place of deep love and patience, which is hard, but it's also like a muscle that you build. So it doesn't matter, right? Like ultimately, yes, it's hard, but yes, it's fucking worth it, you know? It's so worth it. Like right now, I don't fully know what the hell's gonna happen. Like I have so many just like insights coming all at once, and I'm like, okay, but I'm not gonna choose to overwhelm myself like I usually do because I notice that's my pattern. Again, with the art of noticing, like it helped me break that cycle, it helped me interrupt that. And it's like, okay, so I know if I start feeling overwhelmed, all I need to do is notice. All I need to do is come back to myself, regulate my nervous system, and then just like do one thing. It doesn't need to be like the entire to-do list for the whole year. You don't need to like check everything off at the same time. Just like, what can I do right now? What will support me right now? What's the next right step? Like, I feel like we just make it complicated because we don't want to change again, right? So, how can you help yourself into that change? How can you give yourself a safe place, a comfortable ground where you have the tools in your tool belt that you need, and you have the support system that you need, and maybe the mentor, and maybe, the book, maybe the guidelines, maybe the blueprint that you might need in order to make that happen? Like, really think about that. Don't let it up to fate. Don't leave it up to fate. Don't leave it up to whatever circumstances external to you. Like, make the decision. What's going to support me right now? What's important? Like, for me right now, it's literally like, okay, I'm realizing that I want to have a mentor in my business, and I want to be in mastermind. I want to be in the room with other entrepreneurs and other people who have a very rich, wealthy, positive money mindset. That's important to me right now. That's valuable. Okay, I'm noticing that I might want to delegate certain tasks in my business, knowing that those are the types of things that most people do once they're like way ahead of me, and like, quote unquote, in terms of like how much they're making, where they are in their business, how many followers they're having. I'm like, yeah, but those are their rules. But if I feel like it can support me right now, then I'm not going to wait for afterwards. Like, no, if I feel like that's how I level up and that's how I like take that next step, then I'm going to hold myself accountable and I'm going to find a way to make that work for me. And so, like, I'm literally in the process of making that like kind of happen, but I'm opening one door at a time, because if I try to do it all at once, I literally will freak out. I really will like freak out into staying where I am. You know what I mean? And I know that's not what I want. So I'm like constantly reminding myself, okay, like, be patient. It's okay, you don't need to figure out all at once. You're safe. Um, breathing, breathing so much. Like, okay, okay. Just like, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. But ultimately remembering, like, there's no rush. I'm in divine timing. I'm being divinely guided. And so let me just take one step. What's the next right thing? Right now, it was recording this. And this isn't necessarily because it's related to the change that I'm creating, but I know that's like, okay, that's the priority for today. And if I have time, I might reflect on the other things that I was reflecting before. So it's like taking your time, finding a way where like you're making it work for yourself. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't put so much pressure on you to like change it all overnight, because it's not supposed to. It's not meant to. It takes time, because if you really want to change for like the long game, your life, you don't just want to change tomorrow. Like, oh, you start this new habit, but then like after a week or 30 days or whatever, you just like you're back in the same old habits, maybe even worse, because it's like when you try a diet, like you're eating all the right things, but then suddenly you're fucking done because you're like being way too radical, being way too extreme, and then you go back into your old diet, and even worse, maybe you're like eating all the chocolates, eating all the, like, you're not supposed to restrict yourself, you're supposed to expand, right? So it's like, okay, how can I create a system that supports me? And if that feels like stressful a little, that feels overwhelming, if like scheduling or putting something, like, how can I make that as easy as possible for me, knowing that it's already challenging to create this change, knowing that it's already like I'm already feeling uncomfortable. So how can I give myself the opportunity to still create that expansion while doing it in a way that supports my nervous system to the best of its capacity, right? So all these questions are important. Asking yourself the right questions, noticing your answers, paying attention, not just like doing something because someone tells you to do it, not just being somewhere because someone tells you that's where you should be, like genuinely understanding who you want to be. This year, that's going to be so important. I mean, every year that's important, but I feel like you're really having that opportunity to like reflect. Okay, who do I want to be? How do I want to live my life? What do I want in the next 10, 20, 30 years? Like, what type of reality do I want to create for myself? How do I want to like approach life, approach money, approach relationships? How do I want to feel? Like, all those questions are going to be important. And as you're asking yourself those questions, you're going to have the universe answer you through showing you your blocks, through showing you your fears, through showing you all the places that you still need to polish. And that's okay. Have compassion for that process, because that's a good sign. It's a sign that you are being invited to evolve. It's like, thank you, universe, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to grow. Thank you for showing me this. Although it's uncomfortable, I recognize it's uncomfortable, and I know it's a blessing. So I think this perspective shift, I just really wanted to share that with you. I feel like if I keep talking, I'm just going to go around in circles. Um, but I really wanted to share this perspective shift. It's been really important for me to tap into that, the art of noticing, which is kind of what I'm calling this. And that's been helping me through, for example, like meditating a lot. talking to my guides so much, journaling from time to time, doing prompts. I wasn't doing journaling prompts for like maybe more than a year, but like I literally have been doing journaling prompts almost every day, like for the past week, because I'm noticing like, okay, I really want, I'm gonna use this word a lot in the next like year, I feel like. But I'm recognizing that there are things that I want to reflect on and I really want to like like dive deeper into. And so all those practices have also been really supportive, and I'm sharing more of that and more of the like the day-to-day insights and the perspective shifts and the powerful things that I'm recognizing on a daily basis. I'm sharing that right now inside the VIP, which is temporary, guys. Because I am currently in the process of working on a new mastermind for you guys, which is going to be really, really powerful. It's going to be very intimate and very like, it's basically going to be a 6-month initiation into your most powerful, unstoppable self. And I'm so excited to create that. I'm literally just working on it, like starting new, dive into that. Um, but I feel like it's going to be really cool to have that space. And that's where I'm going to start sharing the most insights. But for now, the VIP, that's where I'm kind of creating the like exclusive content. It's like a subscription. You pay €1 for it and you're getting access to like a group chat, and you have exclusive content that no one else is seeing, including book drafts, because yes, I'm writing a fucking book, and right now I'm like around the 110 pages. So oh my god, like that's happening, writing a whole book, and it's being written, which feels weird. I'm still like not fully like what the hell, like I'm actually writing this. But yeah, like I'm already halfway through the book, I feel like, or almost halfway through the book, and it's like damn. And I'm sharing a lot of that inside the VIP subscription as well. It's like I'm giving you a little special treatment, exclusive discounts, exclusive content. It's fun. um you hear a lot more from me on a daily basis. So definitely check that out, because it's going to look slightly different once the mastermind is on, which of course, like if you're feeling like you want a space of like deep intimacy, you want to be surrounded by people who get you, and you really like want to take charge of your reality, you want to feel unstoppable, you want to break all those cycles, then this is going to be your initiation for sure. So definitely start saving for that, girls, because it's gonna be powerful as fuck. But yeah, that is it. Oh my god, that was so good. Definitely let me know what were the insights and kind of the takeaways that you took from this episode. Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you as always, and I'll see you in the next one.